No one wants to work anymore. I feel like I really need to talk about this subject because it's something that's bothering me. And I'm not the only one who's touched upon it, but it's a serious, serious issue. While a lot of men today are now walking away from Western society and they're working just enough to survive and thrive, among a lot of people, not just Gen Z, no one wants to work anymore. Now, a part of it is the fact that companies have taken advantage of people. And you had people doing jobs where they weren't necessarily happy in those positions, but they did them because it provided them with an income and they were able to make a reasonable living and provide for themselves. So they did the best, did the jobs to the best of their abilities. And that was it. But then companies began draining everything. And as, prices have skyrocketed, people can no longer afford anything. So, things are like twice what they were in many cases. Rents have almost doubled in a lot of places in just the last 5 to 6 years, but wages have not doubled. They haven't even gone up 30%. So you realize a lot of people are like, you know what, screw your job. But it's deeper than that. A lot of people back in 2020, they got money that they should not have gotten. They were basically paid to stay at home and do nothing. And it turns out if you pay people to stay home and do nothing, it makes them lazy. You had people who were told they didn't have to pay their rent for a year or more than a year. They didn't have to pay their mortgages for a year or more than a year. They were sent all of this money in, deposited directly to their checking accounts month after month after month, allowing them to make more money than they would have ever made while working, and they had no responsibilities. Think about this, think about it very carefully. They had crazy amounts of money coming in and no responsibilities. They didn't have to pay for anything. We see what the consequences are because it's led to hyperinflation. But more so than that, it's led to a lot of people who don't want to work. Now, of course, there are people who do want to work, and people during that very difficult time continue to find ways to create value. And that's why I say we're heading towards a creator economy, because the gig economy is not only mature at this point, but it is increasingly oversaturated as you have a bunch of people now trying to do the gig economy as a normal job and becoming furious that they're not making livable wages doing menial labor. And that economy in of itself is going to begin to collapse and crumble. The creator economy, and this is why I recommend everyone learns how to take part in the creator economy. YouTube is a great place to learn how to create content and how to add value. There are many of you that don't even realize the value that you have. And a lot of your value can come down into passion. You know how many channels there are on YouTube where you have people who are just smoking pot and talking about the different kinds of of uh, of weed and the different properties and different uses. And some of these people are not even that bright, but just bringing their personality and putting a story with it and their experiences, it provides a value to others. And their videos are not incredibly well edited. They're not spectacular, but they're kind of chill, right? They don't even have music. I watch voice critical videos on YouTube, Charlie, and there's no music in his videos. They're not, the quality, they're decent, but they're not like high quality videos. The guy's a millionaire. Dude's a millionaire, and he can easily get a better camera, but he doesn't need to. And they have just a very low, chill vibe to them where you can go in and he basically just tells you a story, right? And I don't always agree with him, but it's a story. And you're listening to a story and you're enjoying the story. And in that way, he's creating value for others. You see, sometimes you can create value for others by just entertaining them. And that's a big thing also, learning how to entertain others. Because a lot of the content that goes online, people watch it because it's entertaining. If you put up a video of someone having some type of an operation, and it's just like all this technical jargon, it's like, I don't want to watch that. But if you can tell a story, if you can make people relate to it, make it enjoyable to watch, right? Then it becomes more human. You add a human element to it. And suddenly people are like, this is very, very cool. And I'm also learning something while I'm doing this. When I create content for you guys, if I was just sitting around and telling you facts, and if I was too professional, you wouldn't like this content. You would despise it. Don't get me wrong. There's a place for people like that, and they can find an audience for themselves. But if they cannot find a way to entertain people and bring personality to what they do, then they're going to have a very hard time gaining influence. But I look around and most people don't want to do this anymore. They don't know how to create value. They don't want to create value. They don't want to work. It's a frightening thing. They just want to sit around and do nothing. Lazy girl jobs, bed rotting. They want other people to work for them while they live off the work of others. And it's a very hard thing for many of you guys to conceive, because many of you are like, well, if these people suffer, it'll teach them a lesson and they'll go out and they'll have to find work. But you don't understand what I'm trying to say, and many of you don't care. And it's a problem. It's unfortunate. And for those of you that will listen, cool. For those of you that don't care, then just go. There's a thing that people used to have where you actually enjoyed work. You found purpose in the work you did. You found purpose in creating value, even if it wasn't a full time job. Even if, guys, there are many different kinds of work, many different kinds of work. There are people who volunteer, and they avidly volunteer, and that is working. It is a work. It is work, and they take a lot of pride in the work that they do there. Even people who work in the church, and they take pride in the work that they do there, creating value for others. You know, but people today, they don't want to create value. They just want to do nothing. It's like they've lost a sense of purpose. And we find pride within purpose. Not all pride is bad. It's when you become so egocentric that you can no longer connect with reality. That's when you have an issue. But people no longer have they don't have pride in the work that they do. They don't want to do anything. They don't have purpose at all. I talk about this also, that it's important to keep your hobbies, because there's some people who do nothing. Some of you are like, video games are for chumps. Don't play games. Well, if you sit around doing nothing all day like Gen Z, I get you. But staying in touch with your hobbies is important as well. I was talking to MK Fitness. He basically said, he gave me a great idea. He talked about scheduling time to play games, because it's something I struggle with. I cannot find enough time to push myself to actively play video games. It drives me insane. It's something I used to enjoy a lot of. I used to play a lot of video games. I used to read a lot of books. I used to have, an avid interest in a variety of different things. I was not very big into movies, but there were some movies that I enjoyed. I loved science fiction. And those things add value to my life, and they create purpose in my life, believe it or not. But a lot of people have no longer have any purpose or meaning in their lives. It's just consumerism. And it's a very, very dangerous thing where it becomes all about consumption. You look and When you look at modern women, they can never be happy because they will always want more. They're always looking for something else to fill a void inside of them. And it's an unfortunate reality. And it's something that you see with Gen Z. Gen Zers would never be happy. I guarantee you, they would never ever be happy, because they would always want more. They would always want to consume more and more and more. And don't get me wrong, what the boomers have done, they've robbed them, these young people, of their futures. Like, there's nothing left for Gen Z, and it's understandable. And society is going to basically see what the consequences of that are when you have a bunch of hopeless people who know that, like, there's nothing there for them, and being told that they should spend the rest of their lives working to pay social security, pay taxes so that the boomers can live their best lives on social and Medicare. That's just wrong. But there's that. But no one wants to work anymore. And it's a very serious problem. You can see what the consequences are right now for America. 30 million men are out of work. 30 million men, able bodied men. And, I saw comments recently from some men who were saying things like, forget this job. If they can get someone over, they can bring someone from overseas to do this job. I don't care anymore. Let me explain what happens. Men who don't want to work in their countries, that creates issues of national security. There are a lot of jobs that need to be done by American men. If they are not done by American men, that creates issues of national security. If too many of these jobs are specific jobs are not done by people who have a interest in the United States. It's guys, we're heading towards a very, very bad place right now. This Bumble right now announced that they're moving away from just straight up dating. Bumble is a dating platform, and they're moving over to artificial intelligence. They're you know they're moving over to artificial intelligence right now. The future of love. Bumble founder says AI could date for you. You know, and Bumble founder shares odd future of dating. Your AI dates my AI. Like, this is where, so artificial intelligence will do all the dating for you. It's insane. It's absolutely insane, where people basically lose connection with one another, and the AI makes decisions for you, right? Like, this is the very lazy and disconnected society that we're living in, where we don't even interact with one another anymore. Look at this. Bumble founder says that the future of dating is having an AI dating concierge go on dates for you, but people are not on board. No, women are not on board because they need to go on those dates so they can access the simp economy, right? They need this is the crazy thing. Men, on the other hand, are more than happy to say, okay, sure, let AI do the work. Bumble's exciting rebrand with AI technology has sparked a massive debate in an ever faltering online dating landscape. And it's crazy because women will try to use the technology to benefit themselves. However, men will basically just use these tools to avoid dating entirely, and try to extract value without actually having to invest anything. So, I mean, this is an example. you know, People don't want to work anymore. People don't even want to date anymore. The Bumble, the dating app, once hailed for putting the power of first messages in women's hands and opening up the platonic dating scene, is now being condemned for its tone deaf and frankly disappointing rebrand. After the dating app deleted all of its social posts in early April, users anxiously anticipated something refreshingly progressive to improve the faltering online dating scene. The culmination of excitement quickly fizzled, however, with the launch of AI concierges as the app's response to healthier and more equitable connections. Bumble's founder said the future of dating is AI technology that can offer everything from flirting advice to a dating concierge who goes on dates for you. During a Bloomberg Tech conference in San Francisco last week, Whitney Wolf Heard, Bumble's founder and former CEO, discussed how the app would be innovating and embracing AI to stay ahead in the dating app industry. No, she's right. She's definitely ahead. Seemingly focused on creating a more equitable space for people to connect and form relationships online, Heard revealed that Bumble is launching a dating concierge, an AI generated version of you that could date and communicate with others. Guys, this is while people are condemning it, all it's going to become a this is the beginning. This is the beginning of having an AI version of yourself do the work for you. And of course, there'll probably be some fees attached to it. You could in the near future be talking to your AI dating concierge. It could give you productive tips for communicating with others, she explained. It could go and date for you, then you don't have to talk to 600 people. While there might be a buzz around AI technology in other industries, Bumble's entire rebrand, coupled with Herd's acknowledgement of potential for additions like dating concierges, feels tone deaf. Isn't anyone actually listening to the conversation that's happening right online right now? Marketing expert Sam Ogborn asked in a TikTok, alluding to Gen Z's general distaste for dating apps. Not only are more Gen Zers, over 90% according to recent data, admitting to being frustrated with dating apps, but they're actively seeking more in-person alternatives to meeting people. This is a generation of people that doesn't like meeting others in person, so they'll just hop right on the bandwagon anyway. Unsurprisingly, because of Gen Zers yearning for in-person connections and organic meet cues, there's been a decrease in dating app usage and a surge of interest in person events like speed dating, which men are not attending. Guys, this thing is going to be huge. It's going to take over. All right. So this was written by Zeta Slabicorn, because women need to go on these dates so they can extract wealth and resources from men. They can have men spend large amounts of money on these dates. They can have they can have these guys cash app them funds. This is how women are living off the simp economy. And what this is doing it's getting between them and the simp economy, as more men are just walking away from dating and relationships entirely as it is. Guys, don't forget that I have another channel called Angry where I discuss gaming, anime, geek stuff, nerd stuff, real world stuff, and whatever else interests me. There's a link to an description of the video. Go check it out, subscribe to my channel, support my work. And if you're enjoying the content on this channel and you want to see even more of it, you head over to the Men Walking Away channel. There's a link to the Men Walking Away channel description of the video. Go check it out, subscribe to my channel, support my work. I release daily videos on the Men Walking Away channel. What do you guys think regarding everything we discussed here today? No one wants to work anymore. Let me know your thoughts. We'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA and walking away and cheers.